I want to begin this morning with a story. And this story happened in the province of Shandong, China in 2007. There was this man on a motorcycle and he was driving through and he robbed a teacher. As he passed by her, he grabbed her purse, he grabbed her cell phone, and he grabbed her bank card and ended up with, $630 cash. So this woman thought to herself, I'm not going to call the police. She decided to appeal to his good nature. And what she did is she sent him a text message on her phone, right? She said, I'm Pan. I'm a teacher from Wu Tao Middle School. And you must be going through a really difficult time. If so, I won't blame you. Keep the money if you really need it, but please return the other things to me. Well, she didn't receive a reply. So she sent another message. You are still young. To err is human. Correcting your mistakes is more important than anything. No reply. So she sent another message and another and another. After 21 pleas through that text, the woman was losing hope. She held out longer than a lot of us, right? Well, a few days later, she found her purse sitting in front of her home. Everything, including the money, was in that purse with a note. And that note said, Dear Pan, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Please forgive me. You are so tolerant, even though I stole from you. I will correct my ways and I will be an upright person. Who saw that coming, right? Isn't that a beautiful story? Abraham Maslow said this, what is necessary to change a person is to change his awareness of himself, which is exactly what that woman was able to do. And what a beautiful gift that was. If we see ourselves as a spiritual being who's free of limitations, who trusts that divine guidance is always available at every moment, then we have the ability to share that way of being with other people. And that's a beautiful gift too. Living from a spiritual perspective is a natural, basic human function. Like anything else, we choose whether or not to nurture and to develop that behavior. It's always up to us. My idea of spirituality is that we are each and all here for a particular purpose, to be in service in some unique way that only we can do, only we can accomplish, and to help one another as much as we possibly can. To share, to understand, and to remember our connection to everyone and everything is part of our journey here while we're on this planet. Because we must recognize that we all come from that same source. Embrace and remember to embrace all of it, everyone, everything, with love, with grace. Most effective way that I know how to arrive at that state of understanding of our true nature is to return to our core, to return to our essence, to connect with our source. And then seek that same reality out in others. In other words, it's all about embracing humanity and expressing divinity. Recognizing that we are all eternal souls on a journey of self-discovery. Now, we all get there a little bit differently, don't we? And that doesn't mean that one is better than another. It just means our journey is different from someone else. Martin Luther King Jr. said this, everybody can be great. because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and your verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. Aren't those beautiful words? And a great reminder. So there are things that we can do every day to inspire our fellow humans, to inspire other people along with ourselves. Kindness. Kindness is something that inspires others. It inspires everybody, doesn't it? A simple act of kindness can do more to inspire others than reading a book or listening to a lecture on the virtues of being a thoughtful citizen ever could, right? It's the act, it's the action that matters, it's the action that counts. Look for opportunities to be a source of inspiration to others, because those opportunities are forever and always right in front of us, each and every day. Maybe someone's in line in front of you at the grocery stores and they're a couple dollars short on their grocery bill. Help them out. What a kind, generous act that is. They'll be forever grateful, and it really wasn't that much. It wasn't that big of a deal, right? If there's garbage laying on the ground, pick it up and put it away instead of complaining about the person who left it. Make your mantra, what is the next right and loving thing I can do? And then allow that thought to guide you through your day. When you see somebody, have that running around, and what is that next right and loving thing I can do? Maybe it's a smile. Maybe it's a conversation. Maybe it's giving someone a ride. Whatever it is. Our kind deeds are always, always an inspiration to other people, whether they tell us that or not. Now, actually, it's not about what other people think anyway, is it? It's about living the truth of who you are, living that divine essence of God, source, and spirit. Gratitude and humility, those are things that inspire other people as well. If we practice gratitude as opposed to having that attitude of entitlement, we automatically then extend that gratitude to whoever's around us, whomever we're in contact with throughout the day. If we come from that place of gratitude, adopting that attitude is recognizing that it is the divine within. The Father within, He doeth the works, right? It is not I. Other people notice that authenticity. Have you ever had that experience where someone goes, I want what you have? They notice that authenticity and they want that too. And that in and of itself is quite an inspiration. I've had that many times. One time in particular, it's been some 20 years ago, I met a really fabulous human being whom I adore, who inspired me in that way. And that's the reason why I'm here, why I'm at Common Ground, why I started my journey. Maybe I would have been here anyway, however, I love the road I've taken on my journey. I met this incredible woman who was experiencing what I thought and what I called a time that was terribly debilitating with the challenges she was up against. Yet, she was always smiling. She was always cheerful. Had this enthusiastic way about her. One of the most pleasant, kind, generous people I think I'd ever met up to that point in my life. To have the challenges that she had, and to be grateful for those challenges and where they were taking her, was such a foreign concept to me at the time. And I didn't get it. I didn't really understand. However, I decided I want to be that. That is how I want my life to show up. And the more I got to know her, the more inspired that I got. So the short story is, what an impact on my life. One single person, right, inspired me to the point where we're all together. I mean, when you really take it and look back, right, and you watch that journey, it's pretty amazing. We learn best by offering what we desire for ourselves to as many people as possible and as often as possible. My friend knew exactly that. She understood that concept and shared that with me, as well as shared it with countless other people. Joe Goldsmith reminds us the real purpose of teachers, books, and teachings is to lead us back to the kingdom of God within. And that's only one of the gifts that she gave me, was helping me get back to that kingdom that lies within. Generosity is another way that we can inspire other people. Think back on some of the natural or even not so natural disasters. Unfortunately, we don't have to think back too far, do we? But over the years, and how many people have come to the aid of other people that they don't even know and will likely never meet. It's really incredible. It's really amazing. When people complain to me about how unkind humanity is as a whole, I like to remind them of all those random acts of kindness that we get to see. I know, no question, that the whole of humanity is good, is kind, is generous. I know that. And those challenges that we come up with, be it fires or volcanoes or floods or whatever, those challenges give us the opportunity to be that which we are inherently. It allows us to bring that up and out. Now, we don't have to wait for disasters, but we tend to. We don't need a crisis to remind ourselves to be generous. We only need to remember who we are and what we have to give. We cultivate joy by giving of our time, of our talent, of our resources, our treasures. I love this point that Wayne Dyer makes in his book called Inspiration. He said, if we're not generous when it's difficult, we won't be generous when it's easy. Isn't that the truth? Living passionately is not only an inspiration, it's infectious, right? When you're around someone who's really inspiring and really enthusiastic, you just want to be around that person. Don't you just love that? Love to be around people who are excited about life, who are excited about living, who are excited about, I can't wait to see what's next. I mean, that feels great energetically. They live with such great enthusiasm that we want some of that pie too. That's why it's so important for you to be doing what you love, whatever that is, doing what it is you're passionate about so you can share that with others. You can share that enthusiasm. When we're enthusiastically living our passion, we can't help but affect other people because we're loving who we are and we're loving what we do and we're doing it with great heart and passion. Another way to inspire is truth. Truth does inspire because as we live and speak our truth without being hurtful, without being arrogant, we bring light to who we really are. And other people respond to that. It's a beautiful thing. Through truth, we are consciously and even unconsciously connecting with our source. God, source, spirit. That which created us, right? Not only is it evident on the outside when we are in that space, it's more than evident on our inside. Practicing a peaceful approach to life is another way that we can be that inspirational presence. We all like to be around someone who feels good, who's at peace with themselves, with the world, and with everything around them. Doesn't that change you when you're with that person? Because at the same time, we are turned off by those angry, hostile encounters. We don't want to stay around that tension. We don't want to stay around that unhappiness. If we do, we find ourselves what? In a bad mood, sometimes angry, sometimes not feeling well, sometimes we're just really frustrated. And who wants to be that way? Who wants to feel like that? Our state of being has such a great impact on us, and it's so important to remember it also has a great impact on others. So to practice living and being an inspiration, well, we want to look for the good in all situations. It's always there. Bless that good. Be grateful. Now, the ugly might be this big, but the good might be this big. However, it's there, right? We can always find it. There is always a silver lining. And we need to be open to that. I'm not saying bury your head in the sand. And I'm not saying ignore realities. All situations, though, do have that good. It's a lesson. It's a blessing. It's a message. Pay attention. That's what I hear when something in front of me is not necessarily the way I want it to be. Be compassionate. Be sensitive to the problems of the world. And as you do that, understand and know what is yours to do. Not all of it by any means, right? We each have a purpose. We each have a calling in our life. And it's very likely for a needed cause. We can't do it all. And we are not expected to do it all. We can, however, hold the less than ideal situations in prayer, and we can support those who are working with that particular challenge. What we can do is change our own world, our own thoughts, our own perceptions. That is what we're called to do, and that is our responsibility to do. Wayne Dyer said it best once again. The reason I feel inspired isn't because the world looks perfect. Rather, it's the other way around. The reason the world looks perfect to me is because I'm in spirit. A person who chooses to live an inspired life. And each and every single one of us have within us the ability to remember that, to do that, and to be that. So I'm going to close this morning with another short story about a wise woman. And she was traveling in the mountains, and she found this beautiful, precious stone in a stream. Well, the next day she met a traveler, and this traveler was very hungry. So she opened her bag to share her food. And this hungry traveler saw this precious stone, and he asked her for it. And she gave it to him without hesitation. The traveler left, and he was all excited, thinking, wow, isn't this awesome? This stone is worth enough money to give me the security I need and want for an entire lifetime. Well, a few days later, he came back, and he came back to return that stone to the wise woman. And he said, I've been thinking, I know how valuable this stone is, and I give it back in the hope that you can give me something even more precious. Give me what you have within you, that enabled you to give me that stone. Thank you for being here while I shared this truth as I understand it.